Today's episode, we're talking boots. What's going on, guys? Snake here again. In today's episode, we're talking about boots. We're going to talk a little bit about what I've worn in the past, what I prefer, and what I would probably shy away from. So my go-to boots always out the gate are actually a military issue surplus boot. Typically you can pick these up for pretty cheap. I think I got this pair for right around $50. These are actually Belleville's style of military boot. I believe they're actually for the Air Force, if I remember correctly. They've also got a steel toe in them. So if you're actually looking for a cheap pair of good work boots, they've got a steel toe in them. They're lined with Gore-Tex, so they're also waterproof. Just a great pair of boots overall to get. The number one thing most people forget about when it comes time to go out and play airsoft or go on a hiking trip or something along those lines is their footwear. I've seen a lot of ankle-related injuries in my past of playing airsoft. I've seen guys with broken ankles. I've seen guys with badly sprained ankles. I've seen guys be out for multiple months just because of the footwear that they chose or didn't choose for going out and playing airsoft. You're going to want something that is at least a 6-inch minimum high on your ankle, or some type of ankle support is provided by the boot. Most milsims actually are going to require you to have a pair of boots that offer ankle support. My second option for boots that I like to wear when I'm going out to play milsim or play airsoft in general, a set of Merrell's Sawtooths. I've had these now for a long time. Merrell's a great hiking boot. They offer a ton of different options out there. But these bad boys have got a ton of tread, so they pick up in just about any type of environment. They're actually very lightweight as far as boots are concerned most of the time. These don't have any steel toes or anything like that in them, so if you're wanting to use them for work, probably not going to be able to go both ways if you're required to have steel toes. And the overall durability of these shoes, like I said, I've had them for multiple years. I've played in them. I've worn them just as general boots. Actually, Merrell is probably one of the most commonly used by Special Forces. Merrell Sawtooth boots, if you're looking at a great pair of boots. Next thing to have on you that goes hand in hand with boots is a good pair of socks, as well as multiple pairs of socks. You should have more than one pair of socks on you, especially if you're talking about milsims. If you're going to a milsim and you don't have more than one pair of socks, your feet are going to get destroyed. Your feet are going to sweat. It's either going to be raining or something, because that's how it happens, because airsoft. So then you're going to get out there and you're going to have one pair of socks. Your feet are going to start getting rotten. You're going to start getting blisters. It's just going to be hell. I'm telling you, an extra set of socks is the way to go. Make sure they're comfortable for you to wear, because if you're out there playing and your feet are uncomfortable, that's the number one killer you're going to want to stop. With that being said, a mistake I've actually seen happen before in the past is somebody has gone out, gotten a brand new pair of boots, was excited to wear them for their first milsim. This guy showed up wearing a brand new pair of boots, never worn before, first day at the milsim, probably the worst game he's ever had in his life. You always want to make sure that you're wearing boots to the milsim that are already pre-broke in. You don't want to be out there trying to break in a new pair of boots. You are going to get the worst blisters of your life. Just make sure you show up with broke-in boots. Wear them for a week to work. Whatever you're doing. Go out, hike, whatever you want to do in your boots, just make sure you break in your boots before you decide to wear them to a milsim. The other thing I want to talk about was small things you could do to upgrade your boots. Actually, a lot of people don't think about it, but there's actually quite a few things you can actually do to your boots that are going to offer you a little bit more support, a little bit more comfort, and a little bit more stability out of your boot. The very first thing that to me was always kind of obvious, to some people it's not, you can actually replace these nylon cords that they come with. You can actually replace this with paracord. 550 paracord's great. Also comes in handy in a survival situation if all your boot laces are made of 550 paracord. Reason being, you can gut them and have a ton of cordage and then put the lace right back on, or use one of the inside cords as a lace for your boots. Your boots still stay tight, but you still have a ton of extra cord. Second thing you can do, you can also get yourself a set of insoles inside the boot. So if you haven't gotten new insoles for your boot, and you've been wearing them a long time, they're starting to get kind of uncomfortable, replace the insoles. If you've got a new pair of boots, you can't find them comfortable or something's going on with them, try replacing the insoles. That's worked for me before in the past, especially on these military boots. Sometimes they give you a pretty thin insole and they're kind of shit. The other thing you could do is you can also re-waterproof your boots if you don't have waterproof boots already. That's going to prevent a lot of that water from seeping down inside of your boot. That's just going to happen from walking in wet grass or stepping through puddles, stuff along those lines. That's going to help protect your foot from getting wet. But overall, I mean, those are 3 pretty easily doable upgrades to your boots that you can do. If they don't already have the waterproofing, then you'd only be looking at 2 upgrades. But that's 2 upgrades that can increase your comfort, make your play day a lot longer, and also help you out in a survival situation if for some reason something like that happened. Boots were an integral part of your kit. They really are important. You don't want to show up there and play in a pair of Nikes, roll an ankle, and have it end. You don't want to show up there in a pair of boots that aren't broken in and then be done halfway through the first day. You don't want to show up there and have a pair of boots that you haven't tested or ran with for a while and they're causing you pain that's just unbearable and won't let you play the next day. The only other thing I would bring up with this is make sure you're spending money on a quality boot. Like I said, the cheapest boot, in all honesty, I would really go with is a military surplus boot. Generally, you can find really great deals at military surplus stores or online at military surplus stores. You're going to get yourself a quality boot. It's meant for that. That's what these boots are meant for. There's guys who are servicemen and women who are wearing these boots, walking plenty of miles every day and not having any issues. Some are having blisters, but, what are you going to do? Ibuprofen and water. So make sure you're out there and you're buying a quality boot. Make sure you're spending the money on getting a piece of equipment that's going to go on your body that is actually going to affect your play. Make sure you spend money on the boot because you want to be able to have the quality of play, the longevity of play, and the effectiveness of a boot that you're looking for. With that being said, let us know what your guys' favorite boots are to wear out on the field. Let us know in the comments if you've got anything that you would add, or tell anybody who is new in the world of airsoft or milsim. Let them know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, if you haven't jumped in to our giveaway on our Task Force Podcast Instagram, make sure you do so. That's taskforce_podcast on Instagram. Doing a giveaway. Get some Task Force Podcast swag. Get yourself a Task Force Podcast t-shirt, some dynamic fuzz, some 6mm BBs. 6mm BBs. By the way, if you haven't checked those guys out, 6mmPlastic.com. Use code TASKFORCE2020 for 10% off of your next order. Thank you guys for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next episode.